So for the final part of sketching Vicky Kaushal, our focus will be on the jacket that he is wearing, then the beard and the remaining part of neck also. So for making the jacket, if you will zoom out your pictures or the reference picture that I'm using, if I will zoom out or I have zoom out, I every time zoom out my picture as much as I can so that I have more details, and the more and more details that I have, the more and more details I will apply on my sketches, and my sketches will look more beautiful. And the problem is that most of the people right now use mobile for sketching, right? You use grid method and any other different methods, and you see reference picture on your mobile also. But the problem is that the memory or the gallery application that you use, if you will zoom out your reference picture that you are using, you will not be able to zoom out as much as you want. But if you will use a third-party applications like Pixar, Snapseed, this is not a promotional video for this application, but I personally use this portrait for my portrait sketching. So while using a Pixar or any Snapseed, I am able to zoom out my pictures, and after zooming out I saw details on the jacket of Vicky Kaushal. But while just directly watching Vicky Kaushal's this particular portrait, I was not able to see more details. But after zooming out, I saw a little bit highlights on the jacket. So I have applied those details. But for the base layer, as I always say that for making a particular ornaments, clothes or accessories that a particular person is wearing or the reference picture is wearing, always use charcoal pencil, or you can also use a charcoal powder. Just trace the smaller details first, like the outlines of jacket. First of all, make outlines using a low pressure, because if you will apply a little bit more pressure while making outlines of any portrait, if you want to blend it with the other parts or the surrounding parts of the details, it will not be blended easily, or you have to apply a little bit more pressure on every part, and it is practically look like a drawing and not a realistic sketch. So I will recommend that if you are tracing or if you are making outlines of face or any other clothes or any other accessories, if you are making outlines, first of all, just don't apply pressure on your pencil or on your fingers also. Just trace so that you can see, but it will not look a completely straight line or complete straight outline. So after applying these details, we are going to focus on the beard. You will see that her beard is complete, but I am going to tell you how to make beard also. So for the base layer, there are a lot of hairs on beard also. If you are a man and if you are watching, you have too many hairs, or if you are a girl also, just see your partner or your parents or any other, you will see too many details on the hairs of beard also, so many smaller hairs. So making those so many smaller hairs is practically impossible. So to make those smaller look more and more beautiful and more beard type and more realistic, apply smaller hairs as a base layer. Don't make a complete flat look, just make a base layer and then blend it using a makeup brush or paintbrush, anything that you have. After blending those parts, finally again use a soft charcoal pencil for in the only parts which you see a complete dark. Just like the chin part of Vicky Kaushal is looking more darker as compared to above part, which is a cheek part where the beard is going on. So those are the parts where the difference between lighter and shadows is going on. The height, more darker beard or more growth of beard you can see on the chin part. So you have to apply soft charcoal pencil on the chin part, and for the above part where the cheek part where more shadows, less shadows are going on, but the hairs are looking completely faded, so you can apply a hard charcoal pencil there also, and you can leave the base layer that we have made for beard. So just keep on focusing on direction of beard also. And if you want to see the complete real-time sketch where I have uploaded in my second channel, which is Shwet Sketches 2.0, where you can see my complete 9-hour 8-hour sketches of every portrait that I have uploaded in this particular sketch or in this particular channel of mine. so you can check out that also. You can see how I apply pressure in every part, how I erase some parts of the face, how I apply details, how I apply every smaller lines of my sketches. You can check out there also. Now using a graphite pencil, as the neck is looking a little bit darker, as the light source is on above part, though of course the shadows will be on downside part, right? So neck part of Vicky Kaushal is a little bit darker as compared to front face. So as always, I have made a base layer using 2B pencil. Then finally I'm going to use 3B, 4B. These are the combinations of pencils, and then finally up to 5B pencil, like the end part of where the cloth and neck are going to get blended between those parts, which are the parts are looking a little bit more darker. So these are the parts where I have used a graphite pencil up to 6B so that I can have more darker values. Now the left hand side part of Vicky Kaushal's jacket is literally directly on the sunlight or the light source. So of course there will be more shadows, and not more shadows but more highlights. So there will be no base layer here. You have to make details first, like outlines. Make outlines, then use graphite, then combination of graphite and charcoal pencil on the parts where shadows are going on, like the above part of jacket are making shadows on downside part. So of course the downside part will look more darker as compared to upside part, right? So for the downside part, use 4B or 5B pencil for the shadows only, but for the for making shadows use graphite pencil, but for the details like completely black part use charcoal pencil. And then using the same technique you can apply it on every part of the portrait that you are making. Then for sharpening or you applying more detail and faded look on your sketches, use a mechanical pencil for making outlines, and then again you can use blending stump if you want to make shadows, but you have to sharpen your graphite pencils, and after that use graphite pencils, and then again for the base layer and the first layer use blending stump for the main shadows and darker parts, so that you can have more beautiful sketches. And finally I want to tell you that for making a more realistic and beautiful sketches, you have to have patience for making your portrait look more beautiful, because if you don't have patience, and if you would just want to make portraits in just 1 or 2 hours.
So if you have learned something from this video, subscribe and drop a like, and comment down your question and queries regarding this tutorial. Meanwhile, take care of your loved ones too. Have an artistic day. Tattoos.